Let us start new chapter, chapter 3, data handling. What is data? Suppose I have taken a test. Some marks scored by the cadets were written like this. List of mark out of 100 as 55, 65, 15, 40, 35, 70, 90, 92, 84, 85. Only I have written the numbers. It is a numerical data, right? But I added in some piece of information like it is the mark scored by the children. So the marks means it is some more information we are giving. So this is a data. Suppose I ask the children their age. Most of the students from 7th class is around 12, 13 or 14 ages only. Some children will have 13 ages, some are having 14. Maybe some 1 or 2 children may have around 12 only. So the 12, 13, 14 are represented by the ages of 7th class children. So this is called as a data. Again, some weight of the children if I expressed, that is also called as a data. Again, runs scored in a test match or a cricket match, it is written there, that is also called as a data. So these all are called as a data because data means a piece of information. Data means a piece of information. Or we can say 2 or 3 facts were associated with a data. Suppose we are collecting and keeping the data like this 55, 65, 15, 40 without arranging this data. This is called an unorganized form. This is called an unorganized form. So it is called as a raw data. Clear? So what is a data? Data means a piece of information, and when it is kept in an unorganized form, whatever we collected in the same manner we kept, then it is called as a raw data. First step, collection of data. How we are collecting the data, that is also important. Suppose I collected the data, temperature of different cities, 38 degrees Celsius, 29 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius, 26 degrees Celsius, 27 degrees Celsius. But with this data, I cannot tell that which city is having highest temperature, which city is having lowest temperature, like that. This is just data only. So for getting information, which city is having highest data, we need some more informations, right? And marks I have collected 55, 90, 92, 83, 75, like that. But here also I cannot tell who is the top scorer here, who got less mark here, or how many got average mark, how we can give the better performance. Like that data, like that information if we have to give, means some more information we have to required. So we should know what is the aim behind of collecting the data. That is mean what is the purpose. We must know that is the for this only we are collecting. Suppose I want to check the achievement of the children and I am going to collect the weight of the children, then the data will not match with each other. Our purpose is not tally with the data, right? So we should know the purpose before collecting the data. So what I should say that we should collect the data keeping in mind that what specific information we want. What specific information we want. So I want to know that in our class how many children are there. Suppose 40 children are there, we will take it as a 40. So 40 children's mark I should collect. Now which subject I want to check? It should be checked for maths, it should be checked for any other subjects. So according to that, I must know my purpose. I know that one, keeping my mind should be ready for with that aim. Keeping that aim in my mind, I should collect the data. So collection of the data is also simply we cannot collect and keep. We should know the purpose and what is the analyze we are going to give. These all the things we must know. According to that only we should collect the data. So the primary criteria is collection of the data only, but at the same time we should keep in mind that what is the purpose for that. After collecting the data, we should analyze. Analyze means we should see that which is the who is the mark who scored highest, who got less, like that. After analyzing the data, we are able to tell who is the highest score. Which is the highest score here? 100, and which is the least score here? 32. So like that we can tell that analyze. But after analyze, what is the purpose? We can perform better. We can give the tips to improve the performance. That is why we are doing the analyze. But it is not sufficient. What is the next step? We should organize the data. What is the next step? We should organize the data. Organize the data in the sense means we should arrange them in a presentable manner. Usually what we should do, we use a tabular form, right? We use tabular form only for organization. So after organization, we are easily tell that how many are scored 90, how many are scored 100, like that we can tell. So organization is required. So we will use which type of that one? We will use in the tabular form. So we told a tabular form. We represented the marks of the students scored by them as in a tabular form. So now the names are given. Now the teacher can tell who scored the highest. See, out of this 92 is the highest. So J, the name of the student, scored 92 and Neeraj scored the least. So like that, when we are giving the tabular form, our representation is easy and we are seeing all the things in a easy way, better to understand. So the what is and I want to ask one more question, that in your notebook also you are writing in a tabular form method only while you are writing the index page of your notebook. You can see that row and columns are there, rows are there, columns are there. That is very helpful for understanding which page is goes to which chapter, like that. So progress card, in your progress card also you can see the tabular form method. So tabular form method means it is a presentation of the data in a meaningful manner. We are doing we are organizing the data and our presentation becomes very good, and we can analyze the data easily and we can interpret the data easily with the help of this tabular form. Sometimes it is very helpful, and this type of the data why we are doing means it becomes easy to understand and interpret the data. Now how we can do organization? We can do in a ascending order also, we can do descending order also. Sometimes what we'll do, alphabetical order also. If you check the telephone directory, what will happen? A, B, C, D order only they are following. And if you go for dictionary, their alphabetical order only they are following. If it is not followed, suppose you think that order is not followed, alphabetical order, your telephone directory is not maintained, your dictionary is not maintained, then how tedious will be our work for finding one word's meaning and all. Like that it happens. So in real life also we are doing certain situations that presentation in a tabular form or presentation in an order way, that will be very helpful to understand the things and interpret the things, and it will be very helpful to make the conclusion also. Any other better way to organize the data? Suppose you have seen the sentences like this: average temperature at this time of this year at about 38 degrees Celsius. Average age of students in my class is 12 years. Isha spends on an average of about 5 hours daily for her studies. So in all this you have mentioned some word, or you have heard one word, average. What is the meaning of this? We will see. See, average, Isha spends on average of about 5 hours daily for her studies. What is the meaning? That means usually she spends 5 hours for studies. Some days it may be less, some days it may be more. Or what is the sentence of this one? It is about 38 degrees Celsius is the temperature. This shows that more or less the temperature is around 38 degree. But sometimes exactly 38 degrees Celsius is possible, sometimes less than 38 also possible, sometimes more than 38 is other days, sometimes more than 38 is also possible. Same case with the 12 years. Average age of the students in my class is 12 years. What is the meaning of this one? Means it is, since it is a 7th class, more or less the students have the same age only. Maybe it is around 12 years. But it doesn't mean that all the 40 children in my class is having 12 years only. Maybe some 4 to 5 are having 13 years also. Maybe some 2-3 members are having going to be 12 also. So but average means maximum number of the children is around 12 years only. Understood? This shows that the average means it is a representation of that group only. That doesn't mean that all the members are having same list. That means Isha spends every day 5 hours. That doesn't meaning from that one. What you can make the meaning? That usually she spends 5 hours, sometimes more or less, like that. So the next case, age case, if we taking all 40 students are there in my class, that doesn't mean that all the 40 children are having 12 years age only. Maybe some are having 13, some are having 11 also. Same as the temperature also. Here it is told 38 degrees. Some days we are having that 38 degree exact, some days less than, some days more than 38 also possible. So average is that number which represents or shows the group of that representation or group of that observations. So average, we can say that it is a data lies between maximum and minimum of the given data. So we can tell that average is the representation of that group. One more example I can tell. After your class test, sometimes principal sir will ask to find out what is the average of our class. Suppose I have to find out what is the max average, what is the scores average in max only. So what I'll do, I'll collect all the 40 children's mark and I got, suppose, the average as 70. So what I can make the conclusion from this one, average if I got 70 means I'll think that, oh, my class is performance is good, but sometimes I got average is 40. So 40 means our performance need to be good. We have to improve, we have to do more improvement in the subject. Our mark is very less, our performance is very bad, right? But when we are getting an average of 70 means that class performance is good only. But when we are getting the average is 40 for that group, then what is the conclusion we are making? That performance is not up to the mark. We have to do certain remedial measures and we have to improve our performance, right? So average helps the children to perform better, or we can take the measure from the average and we can make our performance more better only. So what we are talking about, that is, we heard some word regarding average. So average is a number that represents the group or entire data. Average is a measure of central tendency of the group or the data. This word I'll explain again, measure of central tendency, don't worry about that. Different forms of data need different forms of representative value. Since data may be vary from means or not, it is not always marks, sometimes runs, sometimes weight, sometimes electricity bill. It is according to that only data varies. According to that, different types of representative value is required. Sometimes the size of the shoes required, sometimes dress size is required. Like that, data may be varying from different values are possible for data. So according to that, our representative value will change. Now, maximum number of observations are there. Suppose 100 observations are there. So always it is not easy to tell that how many scored 90, how many scored 20, like that. So always we will find out a central value for that. That is a representative value for that. That is why we are telling that measure of central tendency. From the central we are telling the value. So here we are telling that average is the central tendency value. So number of observation is large. We need one value to represent that type of the data. So that type of the data means the performance of the cadets. That is the common idea you are having. For that we will take the average only. So average means that entire data will be represented by that number only. That means all the data, all the observations are clustered towards that data only. Suppose we are telling the same thing, I am explaining once again, 70 is the average. We are taking into consideration that maximum number of observations are close to this central value. Understood? Close to this central value. That doesn't mean that all the children are scored 70. More or less 70 are scored there. So it is okay. Sometimes we are telling that the central value is 40. What is the meaning? That more or less the observations are clustered or tended towards the number 40. So we need such type of the data for representation. One of the most common notion, common idea for representing a group is that arithmetic mean. What is the common idea? Arithmetic mean only the common idea, the most means the most used one, we can say that it is called arithmetic mean. It is nothing else, it is our average only. So this is the first measures of central tendency we are going to learn. What is the meaning of measures of central tendency? From the central value we are telling the deviations. So that is why it is called as a measures of central tendency. So arithmetic mean is the most common representative value of the group. This is the most common representative value. In short, what we can write AM. Arithmetic mean in short form we can write as a AM. It is nothing else our average only. Now suppose we are having two observations only. I will take 20 and 30. So how to find average? For 20 and 30, average means what we should do? 20 plus 30 divided by 2. What is 20 plus 30? Sum of the observations. Now divided by number of observations. How many observations are there? Only 2. So 20 plus 30, it is 50 by 2. So it is equal to 25. So 25 is the representative value for this group. Understood? So 20 is close to 25 also and 30 is close to 25 also. Understood this one? That is why we are telling that this 25 is the representative value for this one. So how to calculate average? It is sum of the observations divided by number of observations. Since 2 observations only here, we are just adding the 2 observations and divide by number 2 and your answer is 25. A batsman scored the following number of runs in 6 innings: 36, 35, 50, 46, 60, 55. Last time it was just 2 only. Now this time you got 6. So how to find mean? We should add all the observations. 36, 35 plus 50 plus 46 plus 60 plus 55 divided by 6. So 282 by 6, it is equal to 47. So the mean runs scored in an innings is equal to 47. So 47 is his average. So we are expecting that more or less he is going to score in an innings. In any time if he play means he is going to score more or less 47 runs. We are making the conclusion from this only. From this idea we are making the conclusion like this, right? So what is the conclusion we can make? Suppose many number of observations are there. Let us say n observations. So and we are represented by x1 first observation, x2, x3, etc., xn. What is says that x1, x2, x3, etc. are the values of n observations, right? Are the values of n observation. Then arithmetic mean of these observations is given by x bar. It should be denoted by like this, x bar. In short we can write AM. Arithmetic mean equal to x bar equal to x1 plus x2 plus etc. plus xn divided by n, right? What we have done here, sum of the observation x1 plus x2 plus etc. plus xn whole divided by number of observation. Here n observation is the so n. So once again I'll tell what is the general statement we are going to make here. x1, x2, x3, etc. xn are the values of n observations. Then arithmetic mean of these observations is given by am equal to x bar equal to x1 plus x2 plus etc. plus xn divided by n. In words if you want to tell means sum of all observations, right, divided by number of observations. So sum of all observation means x1 plus x2 plus etc. plus xn divided by n. So this is we can compute the value of mean like this, and we can predict that where that all the values are closed or all the values are clustered towards which point, that will be the representation of that group. So for the first and easiest one, means common idea only for everybody, if you ask, means average, means they will tell that sum of all the observations be divided by number of observations. This is the common idea for finding the average, sum of the observation divided by number of observations. So what is that is called an arithmetic mean, or just a mean, or just we can say it is an average of that group. Now next representative value is range. I told one point while explaining the mean and all that different forms of data needs different types of representative values. Different types of data needs different types of representative value. So the range is one of that value only. Suppose we are having the same values, that is the previous question. I'll write once again: 36, 35, 50, 46, 60, 55, right? So we will take the, which is the maximum value from this one, which is the maximum value from this, it is 60. So maximum value equal to 60, and which is the minimum, equal to 35, right? So what is the difference between this? 25, right? So 25 is the range for this group. So what we can say that always your average cannot be exact. Average is based on the observations made by the individual. It is just a statistics only. So it is based on your data. Anybody can interpret any way. So most suitable or appropriate way of selecting the mean. Mean can be, it is possible sometimes range should be taken. It is depending upon the data, the individual who is analyzing the data, who is making the conclusion, that person should consider this is the appropriate measures here. So suppose I am taking the range here. So what I should follow the steps, I should identify what is the maximum value, and I should identify what is the minimum value and take the difference. So range means the difference between maximum value, that is maximum observations, minus minimum. This is the formula for range, the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value of the particular data. This is also another type of representative value only. So the most popular one is mean only, arithmetic mean or average only. Now some other situations we have to use other representative value also, we told. Now the second one is range. Range is the difference between the highest and the least value of the observations. Sometimes we have to go for range also. Range will be asked in the questions, according to that you have to follow. Today we have learned about two types of representative value. One is arithmetic mean, another one is a range. What is arithmetic mean? Formula: sum of the observations divided by total number of observations. Next one is range, maximum value minus minimum value, that is difference between the maximum or highest observation minus the smallest observations. Now I just want to make a note for your knowledge purpose, that is that my question is that is the mean regarding mean only I have to ask, is the mean is bigger than all observations? Is mean bigger than all observations or smaller than all observations? Mean is always bigger than observations or smaller than observations. Now I have taken two examples, that is 50 and 70 are the two observations. So how to find the mean then? 50 plus mean equal to 50 plus 70 by 2, that is 120 by 2 equal to 60, right? So 60 lies between 50 and 70. So what is the conclusion we are making from the here? Mean lies between the maximum and the minimum observations, right? Maximum, it lies between them, not it is crossing the maximum value and as well as the minimum value. One more example I'll take. For example, 1 by 2 and 1 by 4 rational numbers also we can take. 1 by 2 and 1 by 4. Now if you want to take the mean, means what I should do? Mean equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 divided by 2, right? So take the LCM as a 4 here. Now into 2 here, so 3 by 4, right? 2 plus 1 divided by 4 and again divide by 2 only. So 3 by 4 into 2, so it is equal to 3 by 8. So let us see that 1 by 2 is the first observation. It is 8, means what is the numerator will come? Into 4 should be done. It is 4 by 8, right? Now 1 by 4 means what is the denominator should be? 8, means it should be 2 only. So 2 by 8. Now we got the value 3 by 8. So 2 by 8 less than 3 by 8 less than 4 by 8. That means 3 by 8 is the mean which lies between the maximum and the minimum values, right? So we got two examples. From that, what is the conclusion? We like the mean lies between the greatest and the smallest observation. Right? Mean lies between. What is the conclusion we are making here? Mean lies between the greatest and the smallest observation. It never crossed the maximum and it never crossed the minimum value also. So we are winding up the class today's summary. What is the formula for arithmetic mean or average? Sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. Mean lies between the greatest and the smallest observations. Now one more representative value we learned today. Range. Value of maximum observation minus value of minimum observations. So learn this formula. Tomorrow we are going to do the problems based on these two formulas. Thank you.